Okay, this is when the strangeness begins. A woman with initials that no one had ever heard of in an abrupt declaration. DL claims to be the biological mother of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's children, Archie and Lilibet. In her own words, I was promised privacy and compensation. Instead, I was erased from the narrative. She claims that she was not merely an anonymous donor or an egg carrier, but rather the full-fledged secret surrogate for both pregnancies. She is now speaking out and bringing receipts, hospital records, financial transactions, and apparently NDAs that were signed and sealed back in late 2018. She's not making these claims from behind some blurry silhouette either. She's showing her face calm, unshaken, almost like she's been waiting for this moment the entire time. And you know what? People are listening, because for years now, there's been chatter online about Meghan's pregnancies being off. Videos have gone viral of Meghan's baby bump moving in strange ways, like folding when she sat down, or mysteriously changing size within days. At the time, people called it nonsense conspiracy talk, but now, let's just say those old videos are getting millions of new views overnight. But let's take a step back here. If what DL is saying is true, then this isn't just about Meghan possibly faking a pregnancy for optics. This is about the royal line of succession. This is about two children being presented to the world under completely false circumstances, while the palace, the press, and even Prince Harry played along, or worse, helped plan it. Harry, especially, is in hot water. At first, some people thought maybe he was just another victim of Meghan's PR machine, but with this woman's claims coming out, that narrative doesn't hold up anymore. If he was involved from start, if he knew the pregnancies were staged and still went along with it, then he's not a passive bystander. He's a co-architect. Remember the strange way Archie's birth was announced? No press at the hospital, no photo op on hospital steps like Kate and William did with their kids. Just a weirdly casual video of Harry standing in front of a stable, grinning and saying the baby had arrived. That alone raised eyebrows back then, but now with everything surfacing, it feels a lot more suspicious. Why was there no hospital name confirmed? Why was there no media present? It all feels like a carefully crafted performance. Then came the birth certificate issue. When it was finally released, people noticed something odd. Meghan's full legal name, Rachel the Palace, stated that Meghan Markle's removal and replacement with Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex was a clerical update. Meghan said it was done without her permission, but given DL's charges, some believe the name was taken off to prevent legal issues, because naming Meghan as the birth mother may have been interpreted as forging a legal document, and no denial has been made as of yet. There was no press conference, no clear-cut statement to shut this woman down. Instead, reports indicate that Meghan and Harry's legal team is working overtime behind closed doors, allegedly threatening media outlets and frantically trying to control the narrative. However, when someone says they're ready to do a DNA test, and you're the one threatening lawsuits instead of coming forward with proof, that doesn't exactly scream confidence, does it? So here we are. The woman claims she carried both royal children. She has documents, she has details, and she isn't backing down. The unnamed surrogate DL alleges that she was hired through a California-based agency and kept in complete seclusion during both pregnancies, with no friends, family, or outside contact. She claims that this was done to prevent rumors and leaks. She says Meghan's team took care of everything, including housing, medical arrangements, and psychological support, but they didn't handle her silence for good. She claims that after battling postpartum preeclampsia, a dangerous condition that involves high blood pressure and possible organ damage, she received little follow-up care and felt abandoned after giving birth. She told a journalist in a private interview that's when she began gathering all of her documents, including texts, appointment logs, and payment receipts. If this is true, her paper trail could be explosive. Once wary, the press is starting to avoid tabloids. Mainstream media, while online forums are overflowing with amateur investigators, many of whom are unearthing old footage and discrepancies from Meghan's pregnancy period. Legal teams from big networks are apparently weighing the implications of reporting the subject more aggressively. It's difficult to ignore some of the footage. Skeptics have viewed a 2019 appearance in which Meghan leans down and her baby belly clearly folds inwards frame after frame. At the time, it was written off as a dress wrinkle, but now it's being viewed in a completely different way. According to sources close to the Duke, Harry's inner circle isn't keeping quiet either. They say he's been acting erratic, attacking aides, and avoiding his regular activities. Some insiders claim he's barely sleeping because he's so paranoid about who knows what, and one former employee reportedly stated, he's unraveling, he's caught in a lie he thought he could control. Another said that Harry has begun to wonder if Meghan's team told him the whole truth during the first agreement, while Meghan is avoiding eye contact. No podcast episodes or Instagram posts. The silence is deafening because there are no product launches for someone who is so accustomed to controlling the narrative. Rumor has it that Meghan and Harry's lawyers have sent cease and desist letters to several outlets considering interviews with DL. But here's the catch. Her PR firm hasn't released a single official denial, and according to people familiar with her brand operations, several high-profile collaborations are currently under internal review. Legal pressure is also increasing. That level of confidence has people wondering what exactly she knows that makes her so fearless. This isn't just a gossip story anymore. It's beginning to touch on constitutional implications. DL says she welcomes legal action and has even offered to testify under oath and submit to DNA testing as long as it's done by an impartial third party. The Queen's former press secretary even said in a radio interview that this would be a first, and if true, it could raise significant questions about legitimacy and title. Writes the monarchy has always been built on strict tradition, and while surrogacy isn't illegal or shameful, hiding it, especially in a royal context, could be seen as deceptive to the public and the institution itself. British constitutional advisors are reportedly re-evaluating the legal validity of the children's status in the R. Even devoted supporters are backing off as the general public begins to realize how serious this is. Social media polls reveal that trust in the Sussexes has fallen to an all-time low, undermining the narrative of independence and victimhood that they have painstakingly built over the years. It's getting harder to conceal the stress that goes on behind closed doors. According to some close to them, Meghan and Harry, who were previously praised as the contemporary relatable royals who shattered the mold, are at their breaking point because the stress is intolerable. According to reports, Meghan is upset not just with the surrogate for coming forward, but also with Harry for failing to stop it before it got out of hand. She claims that his hesitation gave the story momentum. In the meantime, Harry feels trapped by the media craze as well as the potential for everything he established outside of the royal family to now collapse. According to reports, the couple is sleeping in separate rooms and hardly talking. Staff has been reduced, and the Montecito home, which was formerly characterized as a tranquil haven, is now teeming with suspicion and hushed disputes. According to reports, Meghan's priorities have changed to safeguarding her business endeavors. Sponsors are quietly pulling out of her lifestyle company, which sells everything from wine to skincare products. No one wants to be caught in the middle of a ticking PR time bomb, one insider stated. The legal side is just as messy. Their lawyers are working non-stop, not only threatening media outlets, but also attempting to stop DL from doing interviews on American television. So far, they've had limited success. Word is that at least 2 major networks have already pre-recorded segments with DL and are just waiting for the legal dust to settle. The moment that footage airs, the entire narrative could shift permanently. The absence of a strong denial is what many find most alarming. Over the years, Meghan has been accused of a great deal, and she has always had something to say. A statement, a lawsuit, an interview, or even a carefully planned social media post. But this time there is nothing but silence, and in the eyes of the public, silence often looks a lot like guilt. The royal institution, which has long distanced itself from the Sussex drama, is reportedly keeping a close eye on the situation. Senior advisors are reportedly consulting legal historians and constitutional scholars to examine their options because the palace has never had to seriously consider the possibility that children were brought into the royal bloodline under false pretenses. This is not just a PR nightmare, it is a constitutional one with real legal ramifications. Can titles like Prince and Princess apply to children born via undisclosed surrogacy? Can they remain in the line of succession if royal birth protocol, a quiet examination, is allegedly in progress, but a public investigation is still improbable? If it turns out that the Sussexes broke royal procedure or worse, deliberately misled the monarchy, there might be severe repercussions such as the revocation of their titles or the formal cutting of any remaining royal relations. The way that public opinion is changing is similarly concerning. Celebrities who once supported the couple are now becoming quiet, and podcasts that earlier commended Meghan's advocacy work are deleting older episodes. Once supportive social media pages are now overflowing with comments calling for accountability, transparency, and the truth. People aren't ignoring a couple that base their post-royal life on genuineness when the fairy tale mirage crumbles. This is a terrible moment that affects not only their reputation, but also their existence. How can they ever be trusted again if the public thinks they lied about something this important? What began as rumors of a moon bump and a strange birth certificate has grown into one of the most significant scandals the contemporary monarchy has encountered. What once appeared to be freedom is now beginning to resemble fiction.